So you want to trade. You want to learn how to trade. Okay, awesome. Um, you probably saw on Instagram somebody turned, I don't know, $100 into $15,000 in a week, or they turned, $1,000 into $1.2 million in 6 months. I just want to tell you those are lies. That didn't happen, and if it did happen, they lost it all shortly after. Um, it's all just clickbait. So you see those things, and then you think, okay, well, if I could just make $100 a day, that I'd be totally happy with that. Yeah, that'd be great. That's really hard to do. That's very hard to do. Doing anything consistently in the markets is outrageously hard. Okay. Um, so let's kind of talk about sort of the timeline. The timeline you can expect to go through if you're learning how to trade, right? So let's assume that maybe for 3 to 6 months you're just watching the market. You're watching the market. You're watching YouTube videos. You're reading books. You're getting familiar with all the verbiage, volume and liquidity and support and resistance and trend lines and Fibonacci's and all these crazy things. And you're checking out all these strategies that people trade, and you're joining discords and talking to people, and you're probably looking for call outs, and you're trying to copy other people's trades, and it's just going horribly for you. Don't copy other people's trades ever. It's not ever going to work for you, right? It's okay if you find kind of a mentor that tries to teach you their system roughly, and then you take their system and kind of make it your own. But um, just 3 to 6 months of just learning, right, about kind of the markets and how they move and all that stuff, right? And then at some point you have to build a system, okay? And so maybe after watching the market, this is a bad example, but I'm just going to use it because it's simple. Um, you notice, oh well, whenever price kind of tests the 100 EMA, it tends to bounce or reject. So I'm going to build a system where anytime price touches the EMA, I get long or short or whatever, right? And you need to build your system off the thing that you noticed. And when I say build a system, I mean you need specifics. Um, why are you entering a trade? When you enter, how big is your stop loss? If you get stopped out after the first trade, do you try a second time? What do you need to see to try a second time? What needs to be going on in the broad market when you take an entry? What's your How much are you targeting? Are you um, so if every time you put on a trade is one R. That's one risk unit. So like if it's $100, every time you put on a trade, you're risking one R. So if you have a positive R system, let's say you're targeting 4R, which is $400, right? Are you doing something like this? Do you have kind of a positive R system? Do you have a negative R system, which I would never recommend, but people swear by them? They don't work. Um, are you doing 5R? Are you just trailing winners until you get stopped out? How are you going to trail winners? Are you going to trail them? Are you going to put your stop losses below candles? Are you going to put your stop losses on moving averages? You have to figure this all out. And I mean specifically figure it out. And you need to write it down. You should get, there's multiple things you can do, but you could get like a Notion. And you could put kind of what the rules to your system are, and take screenshots of when you see things, and you know talk bad to yourself and a lot of your notes and your journals and I'm just kidding, and figure that out, right? And once you build that system, you have to back test it. And when I say back test, you need to take like a chart and go back and see how your system would have worked, using past data, and track it. Track all of your results, and do this for 1,000 trades. You're not going to do 1,000 trades. You're probably going to do at least 300, please, because no one has the patience to do 1,000, right? Because you want to get in the markets right now. You probably already started trading and losing money. Let's be honest, right? Don't do that. So back testing and testing your system is probably going to take, I don't know, 6 months, maybe a year. It's going to take a long time. And you're going to then start paper trading it, right? And you might do that for, I don't know, 6 months to a year. Um, wow, these are interesting little shapes. Um, and then this probably isn't going to go well, and you're going to have to go back to building your system and tweaking it and tweaking your system and making changes, and then go back to paper trading, and eventually paper trading will go okay, and then you can go to the next step, right, which is live trading. And once you get to live trading, you're going to be introduced to the real bitch of trading, which is psychology, right? Because now you have real money on the line. You don't want to lose your money. It's your hard-earned money. You want to make money. You want to be able to buy things, and money causes emotions, right? So it, because you're risking money, it affects your you executing your strategy that you worked so hard to build because of the psychology, right? And this part takes so long to master. But so from like day one to being consistently profitable, honestly, you're probably looking at like 4 years. I've heard people say two. Fine, dude. I don't. I think you're lying. People say 6 months. Yeah, bullshit, bro. You're looking at years, to be honest. 4 years, maybe six, maybe eight. It depends on the person, right? How disciplined the person is, how hard they're trying, how much time they're dedicating to it. And some people, you might spend 8 years pouring your heart and soul into trading and never make it because you just simply don't have the discipline. That's a thing too, right? But so build your system, back test it, and paper trade it, track your results, make sure that you have positive EV. Meaning overall, does your equity curve go up, right? You're going to have wins and then losses and some wins and some losses and some wins. Overall, is your equity curve going up? If it's not, if this isn't happening, there's no point of you live trading. Just keep building your system and keep paper trading your system and until you can get positive EV. Otherwise, you're throwing money away. There's no scenario where you make consistent money without having some sort of proven system. And furthermore, the psychology thing, you're going to your psychology is going to be awful if you don't have a system that you fully trust and that you built with your own blood, sweat, and tears. Like having the system helps you get through this hurdle, right? Because everyone's going to be trading, they're making money, they think they have it figured out, and then they're going to go through a period of losing. And that might be because maybe their system follows a trend, right? And then when trends end and things get choppy, people just keep trading and then they start losing money and they don't know why they're losing money. And so then they think their system doesn't work when in reality you just are in the wrong environment. You have a trending strategy and now you're not trending, right? Which is why you have to have those 1,000 trades to tell you over time, does this work? Do I have expected value, right? Because if you don't have the knowledge of how your system does over time during this period, you're going to lose your shit. You're going to start, betting bigger because, oh, I just need one more win to get me back to that high, or you're going to throw away that strategy altogether, or you're going to, I don't know, do your emotions will make you do crazy stuff. But a lot of trading is getting through drawdowns, trusting your system, trusting yourself, and just continuing on the slow path of growth. It's a very slow path. This might be 1,000 trades, you know? And so it's a slow process. And if you aren't willing to put in, 3, 4, 6, 8 years of losing money, because that's what all you're going to do for a while. If you're smart, it'll be like 1 year maybe, because you probably if you actually figured out a good system, you're going to cut out a lot of the losing, because most people aren't going to do any of this. Most people aren't going to build a system and back test it and shit. They're going to just throw money in an account, start trading, and they're going to lose everything. It's guaranteed to happen pretty much. So you got to take it slow. You have to understand it's a game of probabilities. It's not a game of predicting the market. You don't just become a market whiz and just know where the market's going to go ever. It's a constant battle with yourself, your psychology, your strategy, aligning the market conditions. And it just takes time and patience, and a very strong will. And if you're not willing to do that, then you should probably just buy index funds, and forget you bought them, and let them grow until you retire, right? Because that's easier and honestly has a way higher success rate than trading. Okay. So I'm hoping that kind of sets some expectations for you. And if you have any questions, let me know. Thanks.